Hey, Shalom, Makim, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakudash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that taught us His truth, and that's what teaching His truth. Much peace, love, and salutation to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, all the way down to the large multitude that believes in who the Lord will deliver in these last days. To you all I say Shalom. I'm the brother Tazimah from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back today with another lesson, and I pray this lesson is edifying to the elect. And I wanted to do a quick video. Lord willing, it's quick, but I want to do a video going in on this whole fiasco that Bishop Nathaniel's trying to do in regarding to the damage control regarding the Motb, the mark of the beast, written about in the book of Revelation 13 and 16. And just like Elder Apostle Tahar said, you know, you have Bishop Nathaniel that's doing this damage control due to the fact that there's members of his congregation, 9 times out of 10, you know, asking questions behind the scenes, and now you see him pulling out Greek words, for example, the word charagma for the word mark in Revelation 13 and 16. Now, you know, 8 years ago, you know, they were scoffing about going into the Greek and going into the Hebrew and, you know, pulling words out from the blue letter and things of that nature. He was scoffing at that, you know, saying that we didn't have to, you know, we pretty much look crazy and foolish if we gotta, you know, you don't gotta go to the Greek to get to think of, you know, to make up, not to make up. What he say? He say you don't gotta go to the word in the Greek to get no god dang microchip, something along those lines. I know Elder Apostle Tahar did a video on it yesterday, meddling not with them that are given to change, because these, you know, the IUIC has changed their doctrine, changed the doctrine, I'd rather say, regarding the mark of the beast many times. You know, it's been many times that they've changed the doctrine. You know, they called it you know, sin in all its forms. They called it an embargo, a political sin. You know, and this is like, how many times are these guys gonna just continually change? You know, the scriptures say, you know, as the scripture's been coming out a lot as of late, scripture says, meddle not with them that are given to change. You know, meddle not with them that are given to change. And that's, you know, this group has constantly changed. This group has constantly changed many times. Now the brother, the head of the Kansas City camp, Salakia, brother, I forgot your Hebrew name, brother. I know you probably gonna say that in the beginning of the video, so Salakia for that. But I was listening to this video last night, and he made a beautiful point. The title of his video is, "If Nero ruled from 54 to 68 AD, how does Revelation 13:16 fit when Revelation was written between 81 to 96 AD?" And that's a beautiful point, man. You know, because, you know, the book of, you know, John the Revelator, he received the vision, or the visions, I'd rather say, roughly around the time between, you know, 90 and like you know, like the brother said, the priest said, 90 to 96 AD. You know, 80. You know, Nero wasn't even on the scene. You know, he was already gone. Now, you know, I want to just play a little bit of this video, because he's playing the point of what the IUIC said, and we'll get to the point. So, you know, Lord willing, it's edifying. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and start it real quick. Make sure it's make sure that the audio is gonna be good. So just give me 1 second here. All right, it should be fine like that.
Of the beast, exactly as in Revelation 13 verse 17.
Go ahead.
The next verse goes on to identify the number of the beast man, as being 666. And yet, this is the sum of the Hebrew letters in Neron Caesar. Whatever other application these verses may be seen to have to Catholic persecution.
What I want y'all to see with this article, y'all can look it up yourself. They had to confess Caesar was Lord in order to buy and sell.
Now, could this very well be the history? Absolutely. Absolutely, it could very well be the history of that time. But is this the mark of the beast written about in Revelation 13 and 16? Is this the Motb? Because whenever you read in the book of Revelation, all right, It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. All right, it says, the revelation of Yahushua Hamashiach, which the Most High gave unto him, unto John, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. Okay, which must shortly come to pass. Now, are there events in Revelation are there events in the book of Revelation that has already happened? Yes, there's events in the book of Revelation that already happened, but this wasn't during the time, all right, during the time of John. Okay, he was given a revelation of things which must shortly come to pass. Okay, it says, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. But once again, the key point is that these are things which must shortly come to pass. Okay, not during the time of not during John's time. Okay, because remember, John had to serve his sentence in the island of Patmos, and then he was gonna eventually die, but he was gonna come back again. That was told unto him in Revelation, the 10th chapter. It says that he would go, roughly paraphrasing, he would go before kings, in tongues and nations again, and speak again, which is reincarnation. He will be back. But the key point is that the book of Revelation means to reveal or to peel back the veil. Okay, of things which must shortly come to pass. That's the key. All right, let's go back to the video.
They had to have the Roman coin that says Caesar's Lord in order to buy and sell. That's what they did to the Christians. And this is talking about our people. Give me the next article.
It's only talking about our people. Well, the Roman coinage was pretty much a centralized form of currency throughout the whole Roman Empire for pretty much the vast majority of different nations who were underneath the Roman authority. And also, too, when you go into the history of it, the Roman coinage wasn't, it was the predominant coin, but there was other currencies in various different areas, too. You had Parthenian coinage, you still had some Greek coinage that was around at that time, So that really truly isn't the full case, man. All right, let's go back.
There's another one.
666.
Raise it up. Zoom in. Let me see where I want to start. No, I don't want that up there. What is Revelation? Let's start.
What is Revelation? The book of the Bible called Revelation was originally a letter written in the 1st century by a man named John while living in exile on the island of Patmos to 7 churches in the Roman province of Asia. Revelation 1 and 4. Ancient and modern interpreters have typically dated Revelation.
Right. Hey, raise it up. Let's get to the point. It says needed to buy and sell. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it. 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 Did we just miss it? Go back down. It said needed to buy and sell.
You passed it.
Let me see.
The second beast out of the earth.
No. It says needed to buy and sell. Let me see. Lower it. Right there. Right there. Go ahead. Read right there.
Needed to buy and sell. While the word mark clearly has symbolic meaning, what if it also has literal meaning? After all, John says that his contemporaries were unable to buy or sell without this mark. The word for mark in the Greek is charagma. Which,
now, mind you, it says, after all, John says that his contemporaries were unable to buy or sell without this mark. All right, without this mark. And the word for mark in the Greek is charagma, which means engraved, etched, or imprinted. Right? That's what charagma means. Engraved, etched, or imprinted. That's typically the 3 words for the Greek word charagma. Something that's engraved, something that's etched, or something that's imprinted. right? And we're talking about currency here. Now, mind you, you have quarters, you have dimes, you have, we have money, okay? We have money with engraved, etched, or imprinted images of former presidents on our currency right now. Is that the mark of the beast as well, Bishop Nathaniel? So is Donald Trump going to come out with a physical coin that he's going to say, you all need to bow down, worship me as your God? Is that what's going to happen? It's going to be a coin or an actual physical piece of money that's going to come out? Because there's already coin, there's already money. It's nothing new under the sun. The money that we see today is literally it's the Caesars all over again. That's literally what it is. It's the emperors all over again on our money. Okay, but let's just keep going because I'll make a point. Let's keep going.
It means engraved, etched, or imprinted. Around the time that Revelation was written, the Roman currencies being used had engravings of Caesar on them.
That's what we read earlier. Go ahead.
Mark 12:16. During Nero's reign, his portrait appeared on coins, appearing like the god Apollo, often inscribed with the words, Son of God. To John, as a former Jew, this was considered blasphemous.
Read. Come
Exodus
on,
20,
man.
verse 4.
Let
Everyone,
me
rich and poor, slave and free, had to use this Roman currency, marked with the image of Nero. Rome openly proclaimed that its rulers, the Caesars, were divine gods or sons of God.
Which is true. Pretty much they would you had there's a specific word that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. What's that word, man? Well, you pretty much have particular groups or factions and that's a lack of better word. It's not the word I'm thinking of, but it's for lack of better words. You have particular groups or particular factions that would pretty much they would look at the Caesars as actual gods. You had like Julius Caesar, because the Caesars were also a lot of times they were also like the quote unquote the high priests of their time on the left hand side, of the Roman Empire. Like Julius Caesar, he was also the top priest. He was an augur, and you could look up to see what an augur is if you like on your own time. But he was also an augur as well. He was pretty much the high priest of the priesthood on the left hand side. Pretty much at that time, not the priesthood not the priesthood according to our people, our traditions. Like the Levitical priesthood, but he was a priest. So the Caesars were looked at as gods, but at the same time, once again, is this referring to things which must shortly come to pass regarding buying and selling using physical coins or physical money? Or is this something going deeper about a physical etching into you? Because mind you, at this time, you still had to operate within the Roman system. Hell, Yahweh Shai said it himself. He said, matter of fact, let's get it. It's either superscription or inscription. No, let's do render. Let's get this. This is Mark 12. All right, Mark chapter 12, verse let's see. Let's start at verse 15. Let's read it in the NLT. It says, "Shall we pay them?" It says, let's start up at 14. It says, "Teacher." It says, "Teacher," they said, "we know how honest you are. You are impartial and don't play favorites. You teach the way of the Most High truthfully. Now tell us, is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" Right? So they was trying to trap up, Yahweh Shai in his words. So they was pretty much telling you, like, look, if you're the King of Kings, You know, is it the right thing to pay taxes? You know, because at this time you had you know, really a lot of times later, I'd rather say after Yahushua time, you had particular rebel groups that were being formed, you know, also specifically within the Roman Empire. You know, like when you read the book of Romans in Romans chapter 13, that was really a chapter devoted, which it wasn't in chapter format at that time, but it was really a chapter devoted to zealots, you know, who were pretty much looking to take down the Roman Empire. So he was like, is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Right? Should we pay them or shouldn't we? Yahushua saw through their hypocrisy and said, why are you trying to trap me? Show me a Roman coin and I will tell you, right? Show me a Roman coin and I will tell you. Now, when you go into the Greek word here, that word most likely is going to be denarius. Let's see, a penny. Denarion, excuse me. Denarion, right? It says denarius containing 10. It says a Roman silver coin in New Testament time. It took its name from it being equal to 10 asses, a number after 217 BC. Increased to 16 because it got it was being devalued, about 3.898 grams or 1.375 ounces, right? It was a principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. It was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. So my question would be, during this time, did the disciples, Yahushua, the believers at this time, did they all bow down and worship the beast because they were using the Roman coinage? Because he said that we're gonna get it, that what he read is that you couldn't buy or sell unless you had this coinage, and you pretty much bow down and worship him as God. So how were the disciples, and, you know, quote unquote, because we are the true Christians, how were the disciples and the believers of Yahushua, the Mashiachim, how are they maneuvering through society when this was the form of currency that they had to use? You see, this was the form of currency that they had to use at this time. They were using Roman coinage. You know, how do you think Matthew was collecting taxes? He was a tax collector. You know. So let's read it again. It says, from the parable of the laborers in the vineyard. So here it is. Yahushua used the parable. Let's read it. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages. So Yahushua, when he used the parable in the vineyard, he said, you know, you would each be given a penny. He was mentioning a denarius. Now, whose inscription is on the denarius? Whose inscription is on the denarius? Well, it was the Caesar's inscription that was on the denarius. Was Yahushua going off? You know? Come on, man. Bishop Nathaniel, your damage control is whack. All right, your damage control is whack, because now what he's getting ready to do is move towards the direction of the mark of the beast being something physical versus something spiritual. This is what you see happening right now. You about to see him transition his whole doctrine from the Motb being something spiritual to being something physical. And he's going to say that this is something that he's always said. This, and the apostles, beginning with Elder Apostle Tahar on down, have been saying this. They have been saying that he would do this. You clearly see what he's getting ready to do. You clearly see it. If you would have listened carefully, you morons, I've always said that the mark of the beast is going to be a physical coin. Here's a video to prove it. Watch. This is what you see the beginning stages of getting ready to happen. He about to change the whole thing up. And it's crazy, man. Hey, man, the apostles, man, they know this guy, man. They know him. They physically know this guy. And this is what he's getting ready to do. Oh, man. Let's go back. It says, verse 16. It says, back in the NLT, it says, when they handed it to him, he asked, whose picture and title are stamped on it, right? Caesar's, they replied. So he's like, whose picture do you see on this money? They say, oh, we see Caesar's, right? Well then, Yahushua said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to the Most High what belongs to the Most High. His reply completely amazed them. So when Yahushua said, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, is he saying, what does he mean here? Because you had to use, once again, you had to use that currency at that time in order to deal with transactions, buying and selling. Just as we have to deal with American dollars, we have to deal with coinage, we have to deal with actual physical cash, physical money at times. Now you can use your debit card, you can use your credit card, whatever the case may be, and it's just really just a bunch of zeros or your bank account that's all digitalized. But they're going to move by making this actually something that's within you. And unless you bow down to this system, this new system of being, this new system that's going to be digitized, okay? And you're going to have to get a stamp of approval or a badge to show that you're down with this new system. It's going to be something that's going to be placed underneath your skin. And it's bigger than just buying something and selling something. It's going to be you pretty much being, for lack of better words, intertwined in this new system that they're getting ready to be, that they're setting up right now. You see? And that Motb, that chip, is going to be the stamp that's going to be like, look, you are down with this. You are down with this system, this new digital way that everybody's going to have to be. That everybody's going to have to be on, for lack of better words. This is the stamp showing that you're down with it. And if you're not down with the system, then you can't participate in it. Everybody got to get tagged and tracked and traced. Okay? That word render in the Greek is apodidomi. Okay? Apodidomi. Salakia. Tribute and other dues to the government. So that's what, like paying your taxes. You know, if you have any kind of court fees, paying your court fees. You know, if you have any fines, paying your fines. You know, if you take the toll road and you don't got a toll tag or whatever the case may be, and you get a letter in the mail saying that you owe such and such, you pay it. You see? And you used what? You used the Roman coinage to do it. You couldn't render unto Caesar what was Caesar's if you used the Tyrian drachma, or the shekel, or the Tyrian shekel. You couldn't use the temple shekel to render unto Caesar what was his at the time. You had to use his coin. You had to use the coinage. You had to use the coinage at that time. You see? But let's go back.
All those under the jurisdiction of Rome, such as the early church, were required by law to publicly proclaim their allegiance to Caesar by burning a pinch of incense and declaring Caesar is Lord.
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Let's do this.
Allegiance to gods, or rich and poor, slave and free, had to use this Roman currency marked with the image of Nero. Rome openly proclaimed that its rulers, the Caesars, were divine gods or sons of God. All those under the jurisdiction of Rome, such as the early church, were required by law to publicly proclaim their allegiance to Caesar by burning a pinch of incense and declaring Caesar is Lord.
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Let's do this.
I'm going to read a little bit more. It says, by proclaiming that Caesar is Lord, right? It says, upon compliance with this, the people were given a papyrus document called a, let's see if I can zoom in, called a libellus, which they were required to present when either stopped by the Roman police or attempting to engage in commerce in the Roman marketplace, increasing the difficulty of buying or selling without this mark. But even with this here, right? Even with this here, okay? Let's say that this was happening at this time. it's still something that's physical. This isn't a spiritual paper that they had to pull forth. It's still something physical that they had to stop you and see if you had this document in order for you to buy or to sell, right? Now, what are they going to do at this time? What are they going to do at this time whenever you got to go into a grocery store, whenever the Motb is fully established, or you have to go to a store, or you have to go through a checkpoint? What are they going to do? They're going to scan your mark. They're going to scan that chip. You see? And if you don't got that, Motb, you know, it's gonna be by law, it's gonna be punishable unto death for some. That's why the scripture says that you had some that were beheaded for those who did not bow down to the image and worship the beast nor receive his mark. You're gonna have those that are gonna you're gonna have some that are gonna be put to death. Okay? It says what's more, I'm just reading the bottom. It says what's more, worshiping or not worshiping the empire and its Caesar was quickly becoming the dividing line between people who were considered acceptable in the community and people who weren't. Many local officials introduced a daily formal requirement that unless you offered the proper tribute to Rome, you weren't even allowed through the market gates. This would be equivalent to having to pledge your allegiance to an American flag before going to the grocery store. All right, but the point is that even if this is the case, right, it's still something that physically happened. Physically, that's the key word, is physically here. It's still something that will physically happen due to something physical. Now, if this was only going on during the time of Rome with Nero, which at the time when the book of Revelation was written out, like the priest brought out, was after the fact, right? Let's go real quick to Revelation, the 14th chapter, and read something here. This is Revelation 14. And Revelation 14:1, because mind you, we just ended this is the beginning of Revelation 14, right? This is after 13. It's after the mark of the beast and the number of his name, which is 666, which they don't go into that. Here it is. He brought out the word he brought out the word charagma. 144 call hello Yahweh Shemel Shai. He brought out the word charagma, but he didn't bring out the word. He didn't bring out the chai psi stigma. He didn't go to the Greek on that. I wonder why. I wonder why Bishop Nathaniel didn't go into the chai psi stigma. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's do that real quick, and we've done this before. Revelation 13:18. It says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast." Right? Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. Okay? And this beast is gonna, and this charagma, all right, which is going to be administered by this beast system, is going to be something that is going to be worldwide. Okay? For it is the number of a man. Who is that man? That man is Esau. Okay? It is the number of a man, and his number is 603 Okay? His number is 603 600, 3 which is 60, and then 6. Right? You got chai psi stigma. Chai psi stigma. Okay? Now it says Nero Caesar, right? It says Nero Caesar down here, because you know when you write the Hebrew, it's equivalent to numbers as well too. Now we believe Nero to be in the reincarnation Donald J. Trump, which we also believe that Donald J. Trump is going to be the one that's going to institute this biometric entry exit system, like he mentioned. All right, that's soon to be seen, but this is what we believe in the spirit. All right. But when you get chai psi stigma, all right, let's see here. Stigma, right? What is stigma? It says a marked pricked in or branded upon the body. This is something that's going to be physically upon your body. Stigma, right? To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut, right, imprinted, engraved, like a sculpting tool, Like when you read in the Acts the 17th chapter, okay? Into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. You see, the difference between using Roman coinage was that it was the economic way at that time versus the MOTB is something that's going to be voluntarily done. But if you don't do it, you're going to be forced. Pretty much, you're not going to be able to buy or sell with it. Okay, you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have it. It says, into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. But it's something that's physical. As a matter of fact, oh man, where was it? Let's go here. What does Xi mean in the Greek? Or we could say, what is the English equivalent of Xi in the Greek? What is the English equivalent to Xi in the Greek? If I'm wording that correctly. There was one that I seen. I gotta find it though. Maybe it was on this one. The Greek letter Xi. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. It says the uppercase. Man, get this shit out of here, man. All right. It says where was we at? The uppercase letter Xi, which also you seen the same thing like the Biden symbol, is used to represent the cascade particle in Xi boron of physics. The letter is also used as a symbol in Harish Chandra's function 2. The lowercase Xi letter, right, which is the same letter in the Greek here. You see the letter here, right? When you go to the Greek, it's the letter that's right here. This is Xi, right? Is used to denote eigenvectors, which I'm not too sure what that is. A vector which when operated on by a given operator gives a scalar multiple in itself. All right, it says a universal set, the killing vector, state, price density, spatial frequency, temporal frequency. Let's see. Nah, that's gonna be some other shit. I don't even know. Temporal frequency, right? What is temporal? Relating to a worldly or opposed to spiritual affairs, relating to time, right? Relating to time. Of or situated in the temples of the head. A temporal frequency. The extent of reaction. So it could also mean a temporal frequency. Right? That's what Xi means. Okay? There was one, man. I can't. Let me see if I can find it, man. There was one article that I seen. How can I word it? What does Chai mean? What does Chai mean? In relation. relation to cutting in the Greek. Because we know chai is the X, which means like to X out. Cutting, wait, show results for cutting. Man, there was one I seen. I took a picture of it. I took a picture of it on my phone. It was a while ago. I would have to go back through the chats. What does chai mean symbolically in Greek? Let's see that. Man, I cannot find it. It was a particular article I had, but I know it does go into pretty much like an X, like a mark, like X in the mark. You know what I'm saying? And then Xi is the frequency, then stigma is the cutting in, which that's what that Motb is going to do. Now, when you read Revelation 14, I'm gonna end it off on this, and I says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, and the voice as the voice of many waters, and as a voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sang it there, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts, and before the elders. Excuse me. It says, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Now, mind you, these are those that got the victory over the beast, and they sung the new song, which is this truth that we're speaking, the 100% truth. You see, it says, and they were redeemed from the earth. Okay. Now, these are those that got the victory, right? Now, at this time, the John the Revelator, was he redeemed from the earth at this time? No, he wasn't. He died on the island of Patmos. You had Christians, those who were followers of the Messiah, Mashiachim, right? They weren't redeemed. They had, some of them were put to death, especially when the persecution of the Christians rolled around, the true Christians, that is. You see? So, at that time, were they redeemed from the earth? Because Revelation, the 14th chapter, goes into those who received the victory, and also. It also goes, matter of fact, if that's the case, how did these people in the Roman Empire, how did they receive a grievous sword if they paid using this currency with the with the inscription of Caesar on it? When did they get the grievous sword? That's another thing. A cancer, which is a cancer, by the way. When did that happen? It doesn't add up. But once again, he's trying to change his doctrine to change his stance from the Motb being something that's spiritual to something that's actually physical. So I pray this lesson was edifying and Lord willing, until the next one I say shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Shalom.